Okay, everybody, we are in the Diabolical Garage. We are going to be installing the all-new TJ Ridgeback system in the back of a 2004 TJ. This is going to be the new universal TJ system. It's deeper and more secure than the original, as you don't have to worry about wing skins going over the top of your body, which could hinder your soft top. You know, the arms on the soft top, how they want to fold in front of the roll bars down into that groove area in front of the wheel wells. So this is all the parts that create the system. These are the two top panels that will go together. A left wall, a right wall, the center wall panel, and tie down points that will also bolt in. So I kind of want to start with a simple thing that we do is anything that you can build on a table, build it on a table. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this wall assembly here, and we're going to take the tie down rails, and let me make sure this all lines up. So we're going to take this and we're going to attach it to the side. So we're going to take the carriage bolts that are 3/4 long. It's easier if you start in the middle. Put one in. On the inside, you're going to put a nut and a washer. And you're going to tighten it up about 3/4 of the way, just to kind of hold it in place so we can get the rest of the bolts in place, right? So then I can come to the front, line the hole up, put that one in. The beauty of carriage bolts is nobody's going to be able to reach in and try and spin these off. So this is what locks your system, all the different panels all together, which makes it super easy for putting it all together, and at the same time giving it its the most strength in the system that you can. So and do washer and nut again. Just for the sake of time, I'm just going to put these 3 in. You can put all 5 of them in. It's all nice and tight and snug. So on the sidewalls, if you notice, we've got a couple of slotted holes in the bottom bend and additional 1/4-inch holes spaced out evenly. So from 2000, I believe it's 2002 to 2006, the TJ had, the rear seat had tracks in the floor. You're going to pull those out, the tracks. So when you do that, we're going to use 2 of the bolt locations for those tracks to hold this down. We found that this made this extremely solid. On a 97 to 01 TJ, it doesn't have the track bolts in the floor, so it's got that little triangle on the side, which would be up here, and we'll have a hole in the wall so it fits universally with that mounting system to go off of that. And then if you want to put additional rigidity into it, is with using these holes right here, just space out a couple and use a self-tapping bolt to go down through your floor and keep it all nice and solid. So I'm gonna stick this wall in place. I've already got the other wall done with the 3 bolts on it, also for the tie down rail. So we'll set these in place so you can see where they go. So I'm gonna grab a couple of the floor bolts, and here's a prep that we also did is if you're running no carpet, so it's not metal on metal and making noise, is we're also supplying this really thick 3/16 to 3/8 thick hard rubber that you can cut to fit in between the bolt down holes. So when you go to set this in place, you're just going to come in just like this. We've got the cutout for your tailgate latch. So you're going to come in and you're going to find where your bolt is, your attach point in the floor, and we're going to put this bolt down in that same location. We're going to do it front and back. And I'm going to just put these finger tight for right now. That way it gives us the ability to have a little bit of movement when we put the forward wall and the top panels on. So that side's done. This is now putting in the passenger side. And again, we make this so you just bolt it all right into place. So the middle bolt, get it started. And this is just reusing these. So if there's a time when you need to put your seat back in, you're just pulling these bolts out, putting your seat track back into place, and putting your seat in. So you can still use the seat when you need to. So now you can see how far forward this enclosure goes. So it goes almost to the drop-off point for your footwell. So now we're going to take the wall and we're going to set it in place. I'm going to grab some hardware. So again, it's carriage bolts holding it in. I'm going to move around to, well, I think I can do it here just leaning in. So this is going to sit in place right here. Sits on the floor. It's got slots in it for where to put the carriage bolt in. So I can reach over and I can do this from the back, even with my T-Rex arms, to get this started. So that'll hold that in place, and then I'll reach over and do the same thing on the top location. Just reaching in and putting this on. So for ease, I'm going to jump up in the back here. So I'm just going to grab this, put this down so I don't tear up my knees, so I can lean over and put the bottom hardware in. So coming from the front, you can see where this is going to line up. Pop in just like that. I'll hold it so I can put a nut and a washer on it. And I'm going to snug these down, not all the way, but it just holds the wall a little bit more solid as I'm putting in the last one on the other side. So I want it to have a little bit of movement, but it's keeping the bolt from spinning. I'm going to put the other one in. And I'm going to do nut and washer. And then I'm going to tighten these two up on this side about 80%, so it still moves a little bit. So when I put the top panel on, the most forward top panel, we're going to line it up with the slots in the top, and any adjustment so the whole assembly is nice and square is easy to do from that point. So I'm going to grab the top panel here, and you know which is the front and which is the back, because you're going to want the full width down bend to go and fill all of this here, and at the same time the inset on the bend will sit just over on the inside of the wall. So we're gonna drop this in place, and you can see that the holes line up. So just for hold down sake, I'm gonna take tie down rails are on the side. Duh. I'm gonna take a carriage bolt, I'm gonna drop it down in. And the way that we're doing this right now is we're doing this to where these are the 1/4 20 nylock nuts. And the reason for that is this is the most secure and strongest. If you want to change to spin knobs, so you can take these panels out when you need to carry something tall and make it quicker to do, you can do that with again the 1/4 20 plastic spin knobs, and you can do those by hand, so you don't have to grab tools to take it apart. So I'm going to get this again about 3/4 of the way tight, not all the way, so that way we can square everything up before tightening all the way up. I'm going to drop in, do the same thing in these two. You can see this makes it extremely nice and clean and extremely solid at the same time. So all I'm doing is putting the nut and the washer on from underneath. And again, this is just using a 7/16 socket. I mean, if you can use a wrench if that's all you've got, that's fine. The other thing is if you want to pull everything nice and tight, no gaps on the sides, that's where you want to go with tightening it up. It's kind of hard without looking under to find it. But now that I've got this in, I'm going to tighten this all the way down. And I'm going to tighten the two on the wall all the way down. And then come over and do this side. And then tighten these two guys. Okay, so that's nice and tight. You can see that this is already extremely rigid. The only thing that's not tight is the floor. So I'm going to actually tighten up the front floor so I can reach it right now, so it's easy to reach. See if you can get in here and see that. It's a little bit dark. Let me grab my phone to get a light so I can shine it on here so you see what I'm doing for tightening it down.
Oh, is it closed?
So see the bolt right there? All I'm going to do is come in over the top and tighten this down. Do it by hand first. And this is snugging it down even on the bare metal with that thick rubber footing. Keeps that all nice and even. So And just so you can see how far deep this is you still have your hoops in the floor, so if you want to attach stuff to it, you can. So while I'm right here, just so it's also easier for you to see, I'm going to tighten these up, the middle ones, just so they're done. Do driver's side, then passenger side. And once again, this is just using factory mounting points, as much of them as we can, which is really just the floor. We do have the option that will include an L bracket for the back corner for the 97 to 2001 if you want to use that versus holes in the floor. And again, I mean, look at this thing. This thing is wicked solid. So again, we're going to put this on, and the rear one actually has the gap on both. So that way, when it goes on, it's got a little bit of gap right here, but this makes it easy for your soft top crossbar to go in and not hit any of this. So again, we're going to do the same thing with dropping the carriage bolts down in through. Put nut and washer on both. So I'm going to grab that. Sorry, had to ask for something for one of the next steps. We're going to go ahead and drop these other bolts down in place. And again, as I drop the washer, stuff out of the way. And I'm going to tighten up these 4 bolts to get this secure. So I'm going to make sure that this is tight against each other. They are slotted holes in the sidewall, so that way you can have some adjustment if you need to go front to back or side to side. So now that that's all on there, maybe it's a knife blade right there on the table. So one of the last steps that we're going to do is we're going to put a bulb seal across here, and that way it's snug up against the tailgate when the tailgate's closed. So I'm just going to measure it, cut it. And install it. Pull it down a little bit so it's not at the very top, so that way it's not interfering with the crossbar for the soft top or your hard top glass when it's going in. But this makes a nice protective section for your crossbar or your hard top glass. So everything's tightened up, and you can see that this thing is not moving at all. This is really stout. So that when we do go, let me get a little WD-40 here. See if we can get these hinges not to make so much noise. Because it's interfering with the video. Oh, look at that. Nice and clean. So look how this all just goes in. You still get a little bit of gap right here, but that's okay because if we pull this too far back, it's going to interfere with your crossbar and your hardtop glass. But this, like here, nobody's getting in it. You're still able to use a tonneau cover across the body tub. If you've got a tonneau cover, you can put loose gear and stuff on the side here. You've got the ability for your soft top elbow mechanism to go down and flat as the soft top folds up and back. And what's really nice is when you put the seat all the way back, and even with the full recline, you still have a little bit of gap at your wall. So again, this is the full installation of the all-new Diabolical Inc. Ridgeback for the TJ. So check us out online. If you have any questions, contact us via email or phone. That's the easiest and quickest. We're happy to answer any questions you have, and we're here to take care of you.